Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, but roast me if that's not how you say it. But what this rule is about is you don't want to be a kiss up. You don't want to always be that person that, oversteps his bound or, never talks back to the boss, never pushes back on their ideas, never gives them any sort of resistance, any sort of give and take. Like, we all know that person that literally all he does is kiss up to you, and you don't like that person because you know that person doesn't have a backbone, or they're lying to you, or they're trying to get something out of you. And this is what this is about. Like, you want to keep your distance. You want to establish the relationship. You want to keep it professional. Like, when you have a boss, you don't want to be best friends with a boss. You want to do your work, ask them how you could improve, ask them if they need more help, and then just do your best. That's literally all you can do, and that's all that the boss can ask for. And if you're, trying to buddy up with them, you go out with them on the weekends, you're telling them, "Oh yeah, I got so drunk last weekend." Like, that's not what they want to hear. Like, you need to keep it professional. You need to keep the relationship stable. And the people that are too buddy with the boss, those people are the ones that get fired because they just share something stupid. And at the same time, like, the person that always kisses up to the boss, never gives any pushback, never, gives them any ideas to bounce off of, like, that boss doesn't like you because all you do is say yes. Nobody likes a yes man, no matter who you are. Like, it inherently, deep within our psyche, makes you distrust this person, dislike this person, not go to them for guidance because they're not going to do anything but agree with you. And especially nowadays when we're all going to be forced to have bosses. Even if you don't have a boss, you're going to have clients if you're your own boss, if you have your own business. Like, we need to play the part. We need to play our place in the delicate game that is life. And it sucks that we have to do this, but, like, the business world is the business world. Like, everybody has to fake it to some extent. Everybody has to be reserved to some extent. You can't go out in the business world and give your whole personality. You can't be cracking jokes. You can't be as offensive as possible. You can't do all the things that make you in the business world. And this is what we have to understand. We have to treat it like a game. We have to treat it like a movie, like a script that we're just playing through. And we need to do it this way because we need to be smart, because one mistake early on in your career could derail your entire life. You could be going great places, but you know what? You just get you get on the bad side of the wrong boss. They're gonna tell everybody that you're applying to their company. That old boss is gonna tell them, "No, don't hire this guy. No comment." Like, when we mess up early, it is such a disaster, and it is something that it may take you years upon years upon years and upon years to combat that. And this is why we have to play this delicate game of, giving the right amount of pushback, giving the right amount of respect, keeping our distance, not letting the relationship become a friendship, not letting the relationship suffer professionally so that you could become better friends with this person. Like, you're there to do a job, they're paying you, treat it that way. If you want to become acquaintances, if you want to become more and more friendly as the time goes on, like, do that at your own peril, because it's when we get comfortable, when we expose ourselves, when we're going to slip up. And we need to be aware of this, because there are a million instances throughout history where some guy in the court of the king got a little too comfortable, talked a little bit of shit, and that was his head. Like, it's happened so many times that I'm not even going to bring up an example. Like, we could talk about Anne Boleyn, we could talk about, like, a bunch of people throughout history, but it's so easy to point out that we all understand this example and we still do the same stupid shit. And I'm guilty of it myself. Like, there's been a million times where I should really just shut up. Like, I like to hear myself talk. I like my own opinion. I value my own opinion probably a little too much. And if I'm talking to a boss and I think I'm right, sometimes I just keep going. Sometimes I just keep pushing. Sometimes I just keep saying, like, no, I think it's better this way. And only through reading this book, only through accepting this fact is, like, I've been able to pull back. I've been able to be a little more covert with my intentions. I've been able to spin my way in a way that doesn't come off as offensive, that doesn't come off as combative, that, like, tries to show my boss that it's a better solution. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But instead of putting my neck on the line, instead of putting my reputation on the line, I'm doing it in a more controlled and a more practical manner. And I feel like this has really benefited me recently. So what I want you to do is start thinking about this. Start thinking about the power games and the power dynamics that you have to play with your boss, because simply that's what the relationship entails. Like, it sucks to say, but you can't be a genuine person at work. You can't be a genuine person in this corporate atmosphere just because you're not gonna get by. You're not gonna succeed. And to a certain extent, we all have to play this. How loosely, how strictly you want to play this game, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm telling you that you need to keep this rule in mind. You need to understand that at any given moment, you could slip up, say the wrong thing, and that's your job, and then you're building yourself back up to that point for the next 10 years. So keep this in mind. I'll leave a link in the description to this book if you want to check it out. I can't suggest it more. Honestly, what this book has done for me is it's allowed me to understand the things that have held me back my entire life. Like, I'm always somebody that wears their heart on their sleeves. I'm somebody that constantly just slips up and makes mistakes and burns bridges and does this. But this book has really gave me insight on the invisible power games that are at play at all times of the day and at all times when we're in any sort of social circumstance. And it's really allowed me to be more politically adept and just be more diplomatic and not make the same mistakes that I've made my entire life. And I feel like it's really shaped up my personality, and it's really benefited me to understand these rules and apply these principles and have a give and take of when I am myself and when I'm not myself, and when I'm reserved and when I'm not reserved. And it's working for me. It can work for you. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I will catch you in the next one, and yeah, see you guys.